Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So today I will talk about the goal number 8, which is decent work and economic growth. Over the last 25 years, the number of employees living in severe poverty has decreased significantly, considering the long-term effects of the 2008 economic downturn and the global recession. In developed countries, the middle class now accounts for more than 34% of total jobs, which is a statistic that has almost tripled between 1991 and 2015. The Sustainable Development Goals (SDG) foster sustained economic growth, higher productivity levels, and technical advancement. Encouraging entrepreneurship and job development are essential to this, as are proactive steps to eliminate forced labour, slavery, and trafficking in human beings. Malaysia has made substantial economic and social change over the last few decades. But the global economy is shifting, and Malaysia needs a radically new economic model to become a high-income country. So in response, the Economic Transformation Program (ETP) reflects a major shift in approach based on the 10th Malaysia Plan and guidance from the National Economic Advisory Council (NEAC).
I will explain about the description of the program. Economic Transformation Program (ETP) was established in October 2010, and the Prime Minister Najib Tun Razak introduced the ETP with the modest goal of enhancing income in order to achieve the advanced nation status by 2020. This program, powered by 12 national key economic areas (NKEAs) that have been classified as important elements to boost the economy and contribute to the economic development. The ETP has been introduced to boost the Malaysian economy from a middle income to a high income classification. The 12 NKEAs consist of 11 industries and 1 geographical area. Every NKEA has a lead minister dedicated to ensuring appropriate results on the basis of key performance indicators. A 1,000-person workshop was held in May 2010 to help classify the 12 NKEAs. The ETP and the GTP are complementary programs to the ETP targeted on economic growth, while GTP aims at the social and economic aspect of the society and also protect the rights of the people. ETP has been structured to be transparent and accountable. Partnership, development, accountability, and also transparency are 4 main elements of ETP delivery. Most of the sources of finance would come from the private sector, 92%, with public sector spending being seen as a stimulus for private sector involvement. Since the private sector may finance a large portion of the ETP, public funding plays an important role in catalyzing activity in areas where extra support are required. The government has brought together all the departments to operate in cooperation with the private sector, and also with each entity having specific roles and duties to ensure the coordinated execution of the EPPs. The government has identified 131 entry point EPPs initiative that clearly detail the action expected to improve the economy.
Of main economic area that been focusing in this sector, which is oil, gas and energy, palm oil industry, financial service, business service, tourism, electrical and electric sector, communication and contact and infrastructure, education, agriculture, healthcare, Great Kuala Lumpur and Klang Valley, and the last one is wholesale and retailing market. There were many activities that have been provided in this program. Three of the activity is Palm All, which involving the development that deliver the creative and promoting the different evaluation practice which will improve the Malaysia role in the global area. The next one is Connecting One Malaysia. This will be promote the advantageous technology resolution that will be offered to the public. The last one is agriculture. Regulation and policy reform need to be followed up by the agriculture sector. That this will be improve the Malaysia agriculture industry reputation. The next one is facilitated that be involving in this program. There were mainly two sector, which is private sector and government sector. Private sector will play the leading role in making the expenditure job and decision, while the government will be served as the active facilitator that lead the growth and resources of policy support.
The benefits of economic transformation program. Firstly, it will open the opportunities for retail SMEs. Malaysia wholesale and retail industry is a significant contributor to gross national income, adding some 57 billion in 2009. According to the Department of Statistics, the industry is now responsible for generating nearly 500,000 jobs. It is no surprise then that retail has been described as a main driver of domestic demand that in turn will contribute to economic growth or in order to reach Malaysia 2020 GDP targets. Furthermore, this program will enable Malaysia to become a high-income economy. The ventures and initiative listed in the ETP would turn Malaysia into a high-income economy with a GDP growth from 660 billion in 2009 to just over 1.7 trillion in 2020. This means that GDP per capita will increase from RM20,700 or USD 6,700 in 2009 to more than RM48,000 or USD 15,000 in 2020. As a result, Malaysia is projected to meet the World Bank concept of a high-income economy by 2020. Last but not least, the benefit of this program is the green economy also has environmental advantages which are clear enough not to require a lengthy listing. It can help to solve global issues such as climate change, habitat depletion, and desertification. It is also lead to efforts at national and regional level to resolve local air, water and soil contamination.
The first suggestion is to align the policy coherently. A clear vision of the target sector means that the cohesive, organized policy plan will be easier to deliver. It helps the government to align the policy with the shared goal in the number of the fields such as education, infrastructure and immigration policy. For example, immigration services such that job and residency permits are readily obtained and renewed without the need of the administrative processes that are too burdensome and or to intermediaries to be employed. Processing time should be quick and prompt, and applicants should be able to ask the question and track their application progress. The second suggestion is to avoid the subscale investment. Investment and other contribution made to a specific sector need to be substantive in order to have the positive and sustained impact. If there are so many sectors where investment are distributed, the risk is that the investment are diluted to a degree which is not adequate for the transformative change to be accomplished. For the small and medium sized country, SME, that is particularly important because they can play the more important role in the economy as a whole. And the third suggestion is to develop the clear value proposition. Having a small number of the target sector lead to the specific national value proposal that can be easily conveyed to the investor, both foreign and local. It leads to the more constructive investment environment, and future investment should be assured that the focus area will be targeted with the government support and investment. The fourth suggestion is provide the leadership focus. Having the priority sector ensure that the comparatively small time for the government leadership, include the Prime Minister, other minister and senior official, may be allocated to priorities area in such meaningful way rather than be allocated to the priorities area spreadingly over the various area. And the last suggestion is allow for the higher equality monitoring. With a small number of the priority sector, calculating and tracking the output of this sector is much simpler, raising the probability of the economic effect. Sector-based policy success is related to the robust policy. When the emphasis is on the closely defined group of the industry, it is easier to do in this timely way.
So for the conclusion, the ETP focus on key growth engines or national key economic regions (NKEA). Malaysia face major economic challenges. Our growth rates have slowed and global competition has become increasingly intense. We face fiscal sustainability problems and are neither a low-cost nor a high-value economy. In order to respond to these challenges, the ETP reflects a markedly different approach while building on the 10th Malaysia Plan and integrating input from the NEAC. That's all from us. Thank you.